Alright, party people. Here's what we got today. This is the first good, decent video I get to make, and it's going to be a long one. So sit tight, get comfy, pull up a chair, prop your phone up, and fast forward to all the good parts like everyone else does. But I'm not going to keep hitting fucking pause and, you know, dirty ass fingers on my cell phone, blah blah blah. So, today on the agenda, we got 2006, 7, doesn't matter, Chevy Colorado. We are doing the wheel speed sensor on this. Now, I'd like to show you guys what style wheel speed sensors these are and explain something to you. Uh-oh. We may actually have an issue with manufacturing that I just noticed. Alright, so this is the wheel hub right here. Alright, this is their wheel speed sensor, which if you look, you see this fucking big dent right here? This just came out of the box. I'm really hoping that doesn't fuck with anything, because as I'm about to explain to you, these are sensitive as shit. Now, I've had to do like 6 of these fucking things on 2 trucks, and they're only on the front. Now I'll explain why. This black ring, this is for you dummies out there. This is a page for dummies like myself. This black ring here is your wheel speed sensor. It's magnetic field, air gap, fucking technology type shit. Science, and more science. So there has to be a very, very specific gap between, actually it looks like there actually is no gap, between the bearing and the sensor. Now the reason I want to explain this is because you cannot replace these sensors without destroying them if you intend to use the original hub. If you're going to just replace the sensor itself, you're going to fuck it up. Everything I read said even Chevy techs have a 50-50 fail rate installing these things. So, if you need to do your wheel speed sensors on this truck, buy the whole hub with the sensor pre-installed. Don't bother fucking trying to install it yourself, because even if you install that sensor wrong, you can't take it back off and then put it back on again. You take it back off, you're destroying it. It's gone. It's done. You'll never get it back to, you know. But if anyone out there can shed some light on these things for me, I'm not, the best. I'm not a goddamn genius, as you can probably tell by some of my videos. But as far as my experience has shown me, you just get it pre-installed on the fucking hub. Through Detroit Axle, they're like $50 for most cars, so you really can't go wrong. Anyways, let's get fucking started here, huh? Cut me some slack here. It's a Friday. I'm frustrated. I want to go home. So just watch me fuck everything up so that you don't have to. Alright, here we go. I'll call out sizes anytime I remember, so that you know and you don't have to do the guessing game like I'm about to do, even though I've done this 6 fucking times and I should remember. Whew, that was a long-winded rant. Alright, so here... why am I even doing that? Don't bother taking the fucking caliper off. Just take the whole bracket right off. I don't know why the fuck I didn't need to do that. If you do decide to, that size was... was this the one? 13 millimeter. The bracket bolt is not a 23. Sorry, all my sockets are underneath you, so you gotta look at my ugly ass face. 21 millimeter. Okay. Now, if you are like me, you're probably too stupid to turn the fucking wheel before you get started, so that you can actually get to these bolts a little bit easier. Where is my swivel? Found it. Now, if you can't tell, it gets fucking lonely in this shop because I'm here by myself all day long. So I'm talking to the camera as if you guys are gonna fucking respond to me. Because, you know, I go fucking crazy in this place. See, this is why you want to turn the wheel. This is why you want to turn the wheel. Be right back. Turning. And if you're like me, I didn't do it this time, but you'll turn the wheel the completely wrong way, get back over here and be like, fuck! 121mm bolt. I'll just stick all these in the box. Where are you? I see you. So, pull these two fuckers. Now, if you're working in your driveway, which you probably are, you may not have air, because that's who this channel's for. Gear Wrench sells a really nice fucking half-inch flex head fucking ratchet. This thing is the balls. But I got air tools, so I ain't fucking with that. Anybody got time for that? Pry bar makes life way easier with the shit. Don't just let this hang. Don't just let it drop. Because if you're in New England or anywhere in the Rust Belt and this is rusty and corroded like this one is, you drop that, breaks your fucking brake line, and now you're running brake line. Where is my bungee cord? Oh, fuck, it's never close by, man. You guys do that too? Bungee cord's never close by. Okay, so I'm going to do something that I just said not to do, just for a minute. I'm going to gently place that down. Bungee! I found them! Now, since we don't have coil springs on this fucking thing, because it's torsion, we need... Oh, shit. You know what? I just realized I can't complete this job today. I'm still waiting on a part. I still need the plug for the vehicle side of this. Because what we did when I first started in this shop, we thought it was a bright idea since the on the vehicle side of the harness, the wheel speed sensor harness, the plug just like fell right off the wires. Old, corroded, probably been fucking yanked on before. So instead of ordering a new plug and wiring that in, what we did was we hardwired it. We snipped the plug off the sensor side and then just fucking wired the two wires together, matched up the wires, blah, blah, blah. And for a little while it worked until shit started going fucking haywire. Winter, fucking moisture, water, all that shit. So I actually told my boss I don't want to do this without wiring up that plug. But what we can do the job. I just, you know, I'm not going to be able to get this thing inspected until that fucking plug comes in, which is easy enough. You can't see my hand up in the wheel well. You can see my hand right here. Up in the wheel well, the plug sits right next to the O2 sensor, I think, which is super fucking easy to access from under the hood. I'll do a video when I get that plug in on how to wire that shit up for you non-wiring dummies. But for now, let's continue the job. At least we can get this part done. Oh, just got lost in top for a second. Oh, right. The brake caliper. So usually what I do is I take the bungee cord, and you'll see on top, on the strut tower up here, on the shock, there's a stud with the nut, you know, to hold the shock on. I usually just loop that thing right around there and hook these fuckers in the holes. Usually the weight of the caliper will keep it in place. Usually. Unless you fucking hit it and it drops down and breaks your brake line, and then you gotta replace brake lines, and then you're fucking pissed. So, where are my dikes? I love dikes. Give me some dikes. Oh, dikes. For you sensitive types that may not know what dykes are, and you think I'm talking about lesbians and being, you know, super insensitive, these are called dykes. They're fucking snips. It's 2018, you can't say anything without being fucking offensive anymore, so I have to let you know, so I don't get shut down by some fucking feminist group or something. Dykes are snips, wire snips. Okay? Now, and no, I ain't gonna start talking about fucking politics and shit. No, absolutely not. Now, next, fuck myself here. You gotta turn the fucking wheel back again. But we can take the off. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, I can move this now before it gets more fucked up. These fucking clowns in the manufacturing department, or probably it happened during shipping, but still, clowns. Woohoo! I love that sound. Come out! Oh yeah, good little tip. You get a nut stuck in a socket, you just fucking bang it on something. Not like that. The guy taught me a couple years ago, my buddy TJ taught me, you just put the socket on the ground, grab a hammer, smack that fucker, it'll pop right out. I did it before and a socket shot across the shop, it was pretty sick. Alright, this bastard won't come out, but I don't need that socket again for a while anyways. You know, if you're gonna, I don't ever suggest it, unless there's a tapered end on this axle shaft. If the threads come right to the end of the axle shaft, please, I have to tell you so you don't blame me, don't hit that shit with a fucking hammer. If you need to hit it with a hammer, use a dead blow hammer. I got this little mini one. Ooh, this one sucks. Falling the fuck apart. From Napa for like $5 in their little fucking $5 bin. And now, I've only used it a couple times, it's starting to show its value. But this has been out so many fucking times, I don't really have to hit it anyways. Now, we want to make this a little simple on ourselves. What we need to do, you got 4 bolts back here, okay? You can't take the rotor off the fucking hub. Stupid fucking design. Apparently they just wanted it to be heavy. So, a little overview of what we're about to do. So in case at some point I get in the way, you can't see something. We're going to pull these 4 bolts in the back here, on the back of the hub. If you have the 2-wheel drive model, this is 4-wheel drive. If you have the 2-wheel drive, everything's exactly the same, except there's no axle shaft, obviously. And the ball joint, the ball of this big fucking ball here, stupidest fucking design ever, is much smaller on the 2-wheel drive one. So you can actually still get to this bolt down here. On the 4-wheel drive, you have to take the knuckle off, or you have to take the oh my god, hold on. Woo! Jesus Christ. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. You have to take the knuckle off the lower ball joint. Don't bother popping these 4 bolts. I know it's easier. These are great fucking bolt-on ball joints. With the top, we'll do it. With the bottom, don't bother taking these bolts out. Getting it back in just turns into a pain in the ass. And the ball joint's still in the knuckle, so it's still in the way of the bolt. So we're just going to pop the ball joint from the knuckle itself and leave this installed so that we can get to that last bolt. Stupid fucking design. You gotta pull the whole goddamn thing apart to do a wheel speed sensor? Really? Alright, anyways. And then, after we do that, and that's also so that we can pull this thing up a little bit and separate it from the axle shaft. You don't have to pull the sway bar link. Don't bother doing that. If you want to, it may make putting it back together again easier. Maybe. I haven't done it. I just haven't had no need to actually pull this wave out link. So I don't know. Maybe it makes it easier. Maybe it doesn't. Who the fuck knows? Someone who's done it knows. So, don't lose that washer. Now, after we pull the ball joint, we are going to... Hold on. Let me think for a second here. Okay. After you pull the ball joint, or you can do this before, doesn't matter. You want to pull the plate that holds the wheel speed sensor wire on. Now, since you're replacing it anyways, it doesn't really matter if it pulls on it and breaks the wire. But what you're looking to avoid, I don't have this problem because it's already up. It already happened. You want to avoid this dropping, right? And the weight of the knuckle ripping the fucking wheel speed sensor off the plug, destroying the plug or whatever. And then you got a whole mess of problems. I don't have that issue. I'm not that worried about it because it's fucking hardwired. But you do. So pull this plate off the wheel speed sensor. It is a 8mm bolt. Very small little thing. Pull that out. Yank this thing off of here. Pull it out of all its places. And then the plug. You can't see it. I don't want to move the camera. Fuck! It's in the perfect position. You'll see where the plug is. Just follow the fucking wire. It ain't difficult. And then pull the plug off the fucking thing, the wheel well, unplug it, and then you're good to go. Next, after beep beep is off, you have 3 bolts on the top of the upper ball joint. Okay, you're gonna need a 13 mil. Is it 13 mil? Jesus Christ, I can never remember this shit. 14. Okay, you need a 14 mil. Or is it 14? I might be wrong. You know? And if anyone's wondering, wow, this guy has no fucking clue what he's even talking about. He's up there just guessing. This is the whole point of this channel, is nothing on this thing is planned. I mean, the recording is planned, and that's it. I don't plan shit out. I don't edit shit. This is completely raw, unedited fuckery. So that you just, okay, yeah, 14. It's a 14 mil on the top and on the bottom. There's a nut on the bottom of it. You need a normal 14 mil box wrench or a socket on a ratchet, whatever. You can figure this shit out. It ain't fucking difficult. I use an impact and a box wrench. It's just... yeah, this is all totally unedited, unplanned fuckery. You get to watch me do a job, fuck shit up. This is for the people that don't want to watch that guy who's done it 1,000 times, is doing it perfectly, doesn't run into any issues. I don't know if you could hear me. I was kind of far away from the camera. I'll repeat that. Even if you did hear me, I'm repeating it. The whole purpose of this channel is so that you don't have to watch a guy that's done it 1,000 fucking times, doesn't screw anything up. This is so you can see the mistakes. You can see a real, authentic fucking guy doing this shit. Like some of the guys I subscribe to. I subscribe to this guy, Avi, A-V-E. I'm sure some of you have seen him. He's huge now. Fucking awesome guy. Super informative, wicked smart. But he's just like a fucking regular guy like you and me. So he's interesting to watch. Go subscribe to him. He's some interesting shit on there. Ooh, I hope I didn't just snap that bolt. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Now, yeah, go subscribe to him. This is another guy, normal type guy. Project Farm, I think it's called. Fucking shout out to those guys. They do some great channels. They do some great fucking projects and stuff. Really interesting to watch. I like those guys. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I'm only shouting them out because, I respect their game. I respect what they're doing. I like them. They're cool. Good people. And some of my inspiration for my channel comes from actually the guy Avi. I think his name's Avi. I'm just gonna start saying Avi. Fucking Canadian guy, Canuck, a bumblefuck Canuck. Oh, come off! I hate these fucking things. Another trick for this kind of shit, you get a bolt stuck like this, grab something that'll fit in the socket all the way in. Yep, there we go. And fucking boom, done. Just jerk it off a little, spit on it. It'll go. Okay, so I only pulled that one bolt out. I know we talked about steps. I only pulled that one bolt out to show you absolutely fucking nothing. Cause, you know, where'd my 14mm go? Now what we can do, oh right, fucking lower ball joint. Man, see, this is the whole point of the show. You can watch me fuck shit up. It is 26 millimeter. 26 millimeter. Gonna fucking stick this thing on there. Get you a good gun too. You know what? I've been using this Ingersoll Rand titanium for a couple of years, I want to say. Let's see. Let's do the math while I fuck around with this shit. I've been doing this for, I don't know, 8 years maybe? Been doing this for like 8 years. I'm not a great fucking expert mechanic or anything like that. I got my faults, I got my flaws. But I've been using this same impact. Oh, jeez. Maybe 6 years, 5 years. And I've only had to replace the guts once. Actually, I didn't have to. It still worked perfectly fine. It was just starting to feel a little sloppy. They just happened to have an identical IR in the shop, so I just swapped the guts, and it's been working the balls ever since. Now, ever since I've had it, I have been using 3/8 airline, and it's worked great. It's worked the balls on 3/8. The problem is, someone told me, maybe this is true, maybe it's not, someone can shed some light on this. IRs are meant to run off of 1/2-inch airlines. As opposed to snap-ons, they're designed to run off 3/8 because it's the most common airline. But IRs are apparently designed to run off 1/2-inch. That's where they get the most power out of their most potential. Ever since I switched over to 1/2-inch line, man, whew, bolts stand no fucking chance. What the fuck am I looking for? I am completely fucking lost right now. Alright, so I'm pulling the lower ball joint. That's what I'm doing. So we need to bang on that shit some more till it pops free. Am I missing anything? Because sometimes I'll sit here and I'll bang on a fucking lower ball joint and then I realize why it's not popping free because I forgot something else and I just waste a whole bunch of energy. So that's what I'm doing right now, just making sure I didn't forget nothing. I have bad fucking habits, man, you know? Bang on that shit. Don't hit nothing else. Just hit this right there. Ah! Alright, now where's my big fucking pry bar? There it is. Right over here. Now, I will show you what I like to do. I'm sure there's probably way more people out there than me that do it this way, but big pry bar. Find somewhere to put the other end on, somewhere solid. Usually you can use the end of a bolt. It's not gonna work here. Ow! Just scratched the fuck out of my head. Alright, or you can maybe do it up top. Find somewhere solid to pry on that you're not gonna break. Alright? And then you want, god damn it. Okay, it's apparently not free yet. These things can be a pain in the ass. The big fucking thick amount of metal It's probably like a half an inch, maybe more, of just solid fucking steel around that ball joint stud. So you really gotta fucking whack on this thing. Ah, we missed. Now, I'm a righty, so I gotta turn this fucking thing. What did I fuck up? I fucked something up, didn't I? I heard something. What moved? Alright, anyways. Yeah, I'm a righty. I can't swing fucking like this. Oh, before I forget, the doodad up here. Fucking tie rod. You gotta pull that shit. Don't forget. It sucks to sit there and whack on a knuckle that's fucking floating on one ball joint. So, don't forget the fucking tie rod. See? I told you. I always forget something. I am an imperfect man. Imperfect. Okay. Now, it's a 21 millimeter for that. The same thing on this. Just whack on it. Boom, comes right out. Unlike your ball joint. Ugh, I'm fucking deaf now. Ugh. Oh, this fucker doesn't want to come out. This, Oh, we're free, I think. Yeah, we're free. Sort of. What is holding me back here? I know, I said I've done this thing like 6 times, but some fucking how, I managed to forget everything about it in between. But the ball joint's free. But for some reason, this doesn't want to cooperate with me. See the movement? No movement in the lower control arm means our ball joint's free. But me being me, you know, this would be easier if I did pull the sway bar. The only reason I don't pull the sway bar is because, or not sway bar, sway bar link. Don't go pulling the whole fucking sway bar, it's unnecessary. Is because if you've noticed, a lot of times it's sticky and you hit with a fucking air hammer or, you know, with a ratchet and the whole stud spins. And you gotta get a fucking pair of vice grips on there, try to clamp that bitch down, you fuck up the boot, you fuck up the sway bar link, and I'm not replacing sway bar link. We don't even have the part. We might. But I'm not replacing the fucking thing. It's not bad. I haven't pulled it before every other time I've done this though, so I don't understand what I could be forgetting here. I've done this multiple times. I never pulled a sway bar link. I never pulled a shock. And usually, this all... Oh, duh. I know what I did wrong. Okay. Whew. Brain fart. I don't actually pull the knuckle off the lower ball joint before I move on to other shit. I bust it free so that it's loose, and then we move on to taking these bolts out, and then the whole knuckle drops down, and you can just pull it right off. Sorry guys for the fucking brain fart there. It's a Friday, man. Cut me some slack. I just want to go home. Now, 14 mil is what we're looking for right now. Why the fuck? Every time I turn around, I can't remember what the fuck I was just doing. This is why you don't smoke weed, kids. Just kidding. I shouldn't even mention that because that'll probably get me shut down. Weed's great though. You can smoke weed. When you're old enough, children, in a legal state like mine, in a weed legal state, don't break the law. I am not advocating for breaking the law. Sorry, more disclaimers. You gotta be fucking careful these days, man. You can't say anything without someone wanting to shut you down. You know? Before you know it, these channels will be banned by fucking YouTube because too many people got offended. Fuck, you're offended. I don't give a fuck if you're offended. Well, I do give a fuck because I don't want my shit to get shut down. But if I have nothing to risk, then I don't give a fuck if you're offended. Fuck yourself, alright? Take your fucking being offended and shove it up your ass. Alright, no, nobody record me, please. I'm just fucking around, man. Just a foul mouth fucking mechanic. That's all I am. Now, that is loose. We're not going to go any further until we get this wire off of here. And snip this wire. Now, I could just hardwire the new one in. But being a new one and having done this way too many fucking times, I really, really don't want to hardwire another one. So, especially in New England, you can't keep the fucking corrosion out of it. Now, what was I just looking for? Oh, right, 8 mil. No, maybe not 8 mil. Well, we'll try the 8 mil. It may not be an 8 mil though. It might be smaller. It looks smaller. I know the new ones. Usually, when you get these in the mail, come. Oh yeah, it's not an 8 mil. It's way smaller. The new ones come with like a 10 mil bolt to replace this one with. So, son of a bitch, where is it? It's like a 7, I think, or a 6. I want to say it's a 6 mil. I will be right back, YouTube. What the fuck? Where is it? Now, somewhere around this shop, I have tools. Somewhere, there's tools. Oh, I farted. Anyone hear that? Anyone hear that fart? No? Good. Shouldn't have been listening. For fuck's sake. I hate having to walk away from the camera. That's why I keep talking to make sure you know I'm still here. Your shit didn't freeze. Or maybe it did freeze. Who knows? Maybe it's frozen while I'm way over here and I have no fucking clue. That's a possibility. 6 millimeter. You know what sucks is when you go to use a fucking 3/8 6 millimeter socket. I mean, come on, man, you know? Where's all my fucking tools? All over the shop is where they are. You know why? I can't keep track of shit, and I can't put shit away. So let that be a lesson. Put your shit away. Okay, so it's not a 6 millimeter. It's a 7. Have you ever fucking used a 7 before? I haven't. Alright, anyway. 9. I had a 9 mil bolt the other day. Never fucking used a 9 before. Technically, I don't think this is a 7. It's some standard size, I believe, because this is a little bit sloppy on it. But it's enough to pull it off. And if it's not super corroded, then it's plenty. A 7 mil. I don't like pulling bolts all the way out with a socket, but sometimes like they'll have little dead spots in them. You know, like it's loose, you can do it with your fingers, and then all of a sudden it's tight, and then it's loose, and it's tight, and then it's loose, and then it's tight. Get you some air tools. I have an air ratchet. I just don't feel like hooking it up because it's not set up for the 1/2-inch line. I do have pretty fancy shit here. What I did was I put the 1/2-inch air line, right, on a 3/8 fucking whatever the fuck you call these things, so that I can plug in the 1/2-inch line without having to swap this over because we don't have any more 1/2-inch fucking things. So now all my 3/8 tools that don't really need 1/2-inch airline, I can just pop that shit on there, which is fucking pretty fancy, man. But it's a pain in the ass to move like air ratchets around with a fucking 1/2-inch airline. You wouldn't realize it until you used one, but these fucking things, man, are so hard to fucking. They're a pain in the dick, really. Alright, so I'm snipping my lines because, as I've said, they're hardwired. Now we can pull these bolts. And move your feet. You can catch it if you really want to. I've done it. But move your feet because it's probably going to fall. So anyway, let's go. I scared myself there. It gets caught up on the fucking shaft sometimes. Alright, now let's adjust this camera a little bit so I can show you what we're doing here. Well, that's the whole goal behind the video anyways, to show you what we're doing. There we go. You like my boots? Dickies boots, man. 80 bucks. They're pretty fucking good. Alright. Now, what we're doing. These 4 bolts got to come out. Now, it's this bolt here that the ball joint's in the way of. As I said, on the 2-wheel drive, the ball joint, it is still sort of in the way, but with a thin wall enough socket, and you use a small breaker bar, because the ratchet, the head of the ratchet, it hits the ball joint and you can't get it on straight. So what I use, I'll walk away again, so that you don't have to take the knuckle off, because it can be a pain in the ass to have to take the whole knuckle off. But on the 2-wheel drive one, so you don't have to remove the knuckle, I used a small 3/8 breaker bar because it's really fucking low profile and it fits nicely between ball joint and bolt. It sucks, yeah, you gotta fucking dirt all these little turns, but it saves you from pulling this whole fucking thing off. Alright, where are we at here? What size are these fuckers? What size is this? 14? 15. They're a 15. Don't forget. Even if you do forget, just watch my video again. Oh no! Oops. I dropped the whole camera. I got this fucking new tripod from CVS, and it's for like 10 bucks. And the thing is just like fucking goofy, man. Alright, there we go. Now, let's try not to hit the stool again. What was I... Oh, fuck, I gotta move the stool because the socket I need is underneath it. Alright, I'll hold the camera. Alright, fellas. Now, we're cooking with propane here. Okay, I think that we are golden. I hope. I'm sick of fucking with the camera, man. Alright. So this is a 15... Yep, 15s. So now... And now you don't even have to use a ratchet, because now you got free access to these bolts, and now you can just use your air tools if you got them. Now, I did have a problem on one of these trucks. If you haven't watched my other videos, or if I haven't mentioned it, I'm a fleet mechanic for a small company, a small security company. So we got a bunch of like Chevy Colorados, Ford Transits, shit like that. Small work trucks, really. Come on, get the fuck on there. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Whoa-oh. Oh, okay, there we go. It wasn't sounding good, man. But yeah, anyways, I'm a small fleet mechanic. I do all company vehicles. God damn it. I fucking hate these goddamn bolts. Small company vehicles. I don't do customer cars. Every now and then I'll do an employee car. It usually ends up being like an Audi, which I fucking hate. Please don't bring an Audi back. Come on, you cunt. Let's try my hammer trick. This is what I was telling you earlier. Can you see? Ready? You put it down. Whack! Whoa! That didn't work. Son of a bitch, man. This thing is really fucking stuck on there. Alright, we're going to have to stick it in the vise in a little bit. I don't think I need the 15 right now. Anyways. So, with that done. Usually, this will pull right off. There we go. Oh, I got hair in my fucking tongue. Ugh. Ugh. I don't know how people can have a long mustache. I gotta shave this shit, man. Alright, and then we feed this fucker through here. Knuckle off. Now, you get to see the fucking bread and butter. Oh, side note, I want to mention this now. I did this the other day and it fucking, oh man, it ruined my day. Don't forget to put the backing plate on. Even if you think you don't need it or you don't want it, this will not work without the backing plate because, as you can see, it's fairly thick. Now, you can't see it on the camera, and the camera's not that good. But you'll see when you pull it off. It's fairly thick. It works as a spacer between the hub and the knuckle. So if you don't put this on, your brake caliper bracket is going to rub the rotor. I ran into that. As soon as I fucking finished putting it back together, I said, fuck. I was trying to put the brakes on, you know, and I'm like, shit, man. Alright, so we're replacing this whole hub. Now that we have that off, you can remove this sensor if you really think that you can just replace the sensor and not the hub. Go for it. You can remove this sensor. Use a flat blade screwdriver or fucking anything you can. And you kind of, there's, I don't know if you can see them. There's two little slots on the opposite end of the sensor itself. What I do is I stick a flat blade screwdriver in there over the bearing. Try to get it over the bearing towards the inner part where the spindle goes, so that you're not pressing on the tone ring and on the bearing and fucking that up. Try to get something small all the way in there and just pry up on it. Fucking work with it. You'll figure it out. But I'm telling you, if you press it, you gotta press the sensor on there. You're gonna fuck it up. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. Okay, so now that's been said, we flip this bitch over. This part, not many people are going to like. Not many people are going to agree with me. Some people might get mad at me for doing shit unorthodox. But we don't have a choice. I don't have any thin-walled impact sockets. If you do, fucking great, use them. I don't have any. I've been slacking. I know I need to buy some. So I have a 3/8 17mm chrome socket. It's Blue Point. Blue Point's Snap-on's fucking cheaper brand. Pretty much the same thing. Still high quality. Same warranty. I have a 3/8 one. I couldn't find 1/2 inch. With a cheap. This fucking thing's cheap, so you might actually get to watch me destroy a tool today. Cheap little fucking 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter. These bolts around here, okay, are 17mm, and we need to pull those. So, since we're using chrome and a cheap adapter, we're going to be careful. I'm going to feather this trigger a little bit if I can. And yeah, it gets irritating when this shit fucking turns around on you like that. Ready? Normally this thing would just rip these right out. It's not really struggling. I'm just feathering the trigger. Okay, maybe it struggled a little bit on that one. I just don't want to break this adapter because I cannot find a fucking chrome 1/2 inch 17 mil anywhere. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. I had one too. I used it last time I did one of these. Okay, now we got our bolts out. We're going to set those aside. Now, might have to loosen that up a little bit. Actually, I wouldn't use a metal hammer on it because you got to hit the face of the rotor. Where the? Oh, there. Stupid. There we go. And then this just pulls out of there. See, you gotta feed this fucking wire through everything. Through like 3 different fucking things. It's irritating. This is by far, and I hope somewhere in the world there's a Chevy engineer watching this. I doubt it's ever gonna happen. I doubt they're watching fucking YouTube videos or channels. But if there's anyone, a Chevy tech or a Chevy fucking engineer or anyone who works at Chevy, what the fuck is wrong with you people? This is a small body pickup truck. It's not heavy duty, so the type of rotor that they put on this thing where it bolts to the hub like that, it's useless. It's not fucking necessary. It's not needed. It's a complete fucking design, it's stupid. And then to have such a sensitive sensor that you have to carefully press onto this super tight fucking tolerance hub, and then when you install it, everything's heavy. None of this shit's light.